Okay. Well, what's up? What's good people? Welcome to another edition. It's your boy Ruff. Welcome to another edition of Goats Only, man. I appreciate y'all joining us, jumping in. We got another special and another real good one tonight, man. Another real good one. A lot of people have been asking for this. You know, two legends, two Jacksonville legends, two Duval County legends. You know, we got between the two, we got all state, all American, Mr. Football, Mr. Basketball runner-up, Kingdom of the Sun MVP. If you don't know what Kingdom of the Sun is, you might need to look it up. It's one of the baddest tournaments. Used to be one of the baddest high school basketball tournaments in the land. So to win MVP in that is super huge. We'll get to the interview in a second. First, I want to give a shout out to Tony Williams. Y'all jump in Tony Williams' group. He got an awesome group, 904, past, present, and future. Join that group if you love Duval County sports, youth sports, history. It's an excellent group to be in. You get a lot of knowledge, a lot of recommendations for, and a lot of memories for people that you may know, may have forgot about, and maybe some people that you never even heard of. Some great stuff some people did in there. So we're gonna add our guests in a minute. We waiting on somebody to join. So once we get there, we'll get everybody on. We're gonna go down the line, man. Tonight we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna talk about high school basketball between these two. We're gonna talk about their college and pro careers. We're gonna get into depth into some particular games and matchups. Some of their thoughts on some of the greatest players they played against. So we're gonna have a good time tonight. Just waiting a little bit. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? Comment. We following live right now. If you got any questions, anything that you want to ask, if it falls in line with what we're going to talk about tonight, we'll add that. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? That's a big production no right there. I always do a sound check. Comment your questions. My wife online. Hey, baby. Ain't no problem, Tony. Appreciate you, man. You're doing good stuff. I tell you what, man. So y'all don't have to look at me. We already got one of the legends online, man. So we're gonna bring him in and get him going, man. We'll go ahead and add him now. Welcome, Mr. Andre Cooper.
Can you hear me?
Cool.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, baby. I can hear you. What's going on, man?
Everything good? Let me cut the people on.
We live, baby. We live.
All right, all right.
There you go. There you go, man. Good to see you, man. How you been, man? How you doing? Everything going?
I can't complain, man. The family's good, so hey, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. So we waiting on our boy Berg, man. How's it? Let's talk about your son, man. Coop 2, man. How's things going with him as he waiting to go to the next level?
Man, he's just ready to go, man. He's working hard every day. You know how it goes. When your boys get ready to go off to school, man. So,
right.
He's just getting after it, man. They're meeting every day.
Yeah.
Doing calls already, man. So he's learning the offense, and it's go time now. You know what I mean?
What you gonna do, man? We got you here now, man. We got you. What you gonna do with him out of the nest, man? When you gonna be there every weekend? You gonna get into coaching a little bit? What?
Well, I'm coaching right now in high school. I'm coaching receivers over at Lake Nona High School, where my son graduated from. But I got to get there, man. I got to get there. So whether it's on plane, train, automobile, I'm there.
That's what's up. So we got our other goat in the room, man. Let's add him to the room, man. Your homeboy, your partner. Like I say, man, it ain't no Batman and Robin. You know how it was, dog. He deserve way more respect than Robin, baby. Let's bring him in, Jeremy Hyatt.
He like me. He hit the video button.
Hit that video button, Bird. What they call him? They call him the Bird, the high yellow fella.
You know what I'm saying? Redhead kingpin.
He coming on. We're gonna get right into it, man. We're gonna have some fun, man. If anybody know Dre and Bird, when y'all together, it's a good time, man. While we're waiting on Berg, man, I'm gonna tell you, you might not remember this, Coop. I remember this because I was in the 9th grade. Y'all were seniors, and I was on the JV. It was early, right before the football season started. It was early in the first couple of weeks of football, and it was kind of where, what's up, Berg?
There you go. See him?
What's going on, baby?
Man, cut your volume off.
Hey, as a collective, we Teddy Riley right now. Cut your volume on for us, buddy.
They say connected.
Yeah, he connected. He connected. There you go.
There you go.
What's going on, man?
Y'all got it, man.
Hey,
just got off that lot.
I feel you.
Hey, so check it out, man. So I was getting into a story, Berg, man. Y'all two was always together, man. So I'm a freshman. We coming into the football season, and it's a break. So we getting water, we getting Gatorade. Now me, I wasn't really a football player. I was more of a basketball player, but I was out there. I ain't know nothing about swag. Y'all, I don't know if y'all remember this or not. But I was on the field, and I walked over to the water cooler, and I had on some white McGregor cleats. Well, we got in so much trouble for y'all laughing and ranking on them cleats, though.
You ain't want to have the McGregors on back then. Hey, you don't want to have them on now. You know what I'm saying? Straight Nikes now. You know what I'm saying? That's all it was back then. Nike, these kids, they got the Adidas, they got the Under Armour joints. Back then, it was Nike only.
Nike only, man. I had some McGregors. I decided to play football late and tried to go to my auntie to tell her to spend $50, $60 on me some Nike Sharks, and she wasn't with it. She took me to Payless and got me a pair of them, the McGregors with the cleat that was this here big.
Yeah, right.
That's what's up.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, man. I had to do what I had to do, man. So check it out, man. We're going to dive right into it, man. The city been asking about this. We talked about this on, in the inbox before, man, about the legacy that you guys left, that you may not even realize some of the impact on some people that you never even met before. Myself, just starting with myself, man, when I was in the 9th grade, I used to get picked on by the people that was in my class and my teammates because I would hover over y'all so much. Like after games, y'all would be signing autographs And, you know, all the love would be coming. I'd just be standing there kind of watching.
I
You know
remember.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'd just be standing there, you know what I mean? Because I just wanted to know what it was like to be great. You know, I wasn't, you know, trying to get no autograph, but I was just standing. I'm like, I want to see, you know, what it is that these fellas are doing, man, to, you know, to exude so much greatness, man. And you know how it is when you're getting picked on in high school, man. But when I got older and I started meeting other people from other schools, other players, other fans, and they were like me, man. Cooper this, Cooper, you know, Hyatt that, man. Them boys was bad, man. You know, I'm talking about this. I got an inbox before we got on. A cat stole the 1992-93 highlight film. He graduated in 2003. You know what I'm saying? So talk a little bit, man, about, you know, how it was then for y'all to get all of that love, and then 20 plus years later to find out, you know, you just had so much coming from everywhere.
I mean, man, it's humbling, you know, to hear you say that and hear some of the stories. But to us, man, we were just having fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, the games were fun. We put so much work in the summer. We put so much work in practice that the games were our time just to go out and have fun. So the love that we got was always humbling. It was always much appreciated. And, you know, till this day, man, I go home, I see people, and the first thing they ask me is, man, what's up with your boy Hyatt? And it's 30 years later, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely humbling, man. And when we were in the moment, again, we were just enjoying it. You know what I mean? And we put a lot of work in. You know, hey, man, it was a great situation. You know, we kind of fell into place, you know, because, again, we weren't even bred from Jacksonville per se. You know what I mean? We came in junior high school. So, you know, we all kind of came in together. So it was a blessing, you know, when you had the likes of Eric Black and James Harper and, you know, and Dingle and all those guys. You know, we were able to kind of mold right in with them, man, and just, you know, it was a blessing for us all, and we just kind of took it around with it.
Yo, Ruff, listen, this dude, I met this dude, or I played against this dude when we was in middle school. Like, we played Pop 1 against each other in Atlanta, right?
Okay.
What people don't know is this dude won a national championship in Pop 1. He was the coldest running back he was the coldest running back ever. Like,
Real talk. Man.
We used to play them every year. Atlanta Colts. Bird was number 42. I still remember to this day. And he get 200 a week every Saturday.
Easy money.
Oh, why they can't stop this dude? Like, we got something. Man, he put about 2 bills on us, about 3-4 tugs. We moved down to Jacksonville after my 8th grade year. I go to get my physical for the upcoming junior high school season. He's sitting in the same doctor's office getting his physical.
Wow.
And I saw his dad had on a Sandy Springs jacket, right, which is where they were. And I'm like, hold on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, continue.
It's crazy, man. So, like, you know, we've had a connection, man, since, you know, 6th, 7th, 8th grade going back. And then just being able to like, we weren't able to go to junior high together. I was over at Mayport. He was over at Fletcher Jr. And then playing against each other in junior high, playing AAU ball together, and then going to Fletcher together, man, it was just like a perfect storm. But, man, like, our personalities just clicked. You know what I'm saying? We were best friends from the jump, man. I mean, like you said earlier, man, we was always together. And I think that helped with our performance on the court as well and on the field.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man. So certain things are meant to be. It just.
I'm telling you, man. It was crazy, bro.
It was forming. It was forming way before you even realized what it was. Before Bob knew what he was getting. We'll talk about Bob later, but Bob was blessed. But so let's talk about, man, some of your biggest influence in both sports. Both of you, a lot of people may know, may not know, but both of you guys were standouts in football and basketball. You've already been labeled by, and it's no argument that to come out of Jacksonville, the greatest duo in both sports of all time. That's no argument. Can't nobody list a better two in both sports or any two sports you want to put together ever. So, you know, talk about your influences in both sports as a kid.
Well, for me, basically, y'all hear echo?
Just a little bit, not much though.
A little bit. We good though. We good though.
Marcus Allen for me was probably my favorite player growing up. He was slender. Again, as Dre mentioned, I played running back as a kid. You know what I mean? And so I used to watch how he moved when he was with the Raiders. You know, and then as I got a little bit older in football, it was also Randall Cunningham, which is the reason why I wore the number 12 in junior high school. But then basketball, it was Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? He was a tall guard. You know, he was Showtime. So I was always trying to emulate him. And even going further on beyond that, it was Scottie Pippen. So, you know, I've always considered myself more or less a glue type of guy and a guy who liked to distribute, but also hold my own, you know, as far as scoring the basketball too. So just all around type of cat.
That's what's up, man. You see the Trey Deuce behind me back there. That's my son who wore Trey Deuce, and all that's inspired by Magic Johnson right there. So,
that wasn't inspired by Scurry? I thought that was a Scurry tribute. You know what I'm saying?
Man, shout out to my dog Scurry Lou, man. Scurry Lou, Atlantic Beach. You know what I mean? What about you, Coop?
Man, you know, it has to start with my dad. You know, he kind of showed me the game, taught me the game. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, just, you know, my older cousins, man. You know, my cousin Darryl Drakeford, Chris Drakeford. When I was growing up, they were like 3-4 years older than me. And, you know, like I said, my dad taught me the game, but they kind of taught me the game. You know what I'm saying? As far as how you play the game, you know, they beat me up, you know what I mean? They make me cry and they say, hey, you're going to keep playing. So, you know, those guys, man, they just push me and push me and push me. They taught me to be tough. They inbred that in me. And then they taught me the game. You know, you only get better by playing against people that are bigger and stronger than you.
Right.
And that's what they did for me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those three, my dad, my two cousins, and then my little brother, because my thing, I always wanted to be a role model for him. I wanted to be somebody that he could look up and say, you know what, he's doing it the right way, and I want to do it that way as well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a combination of those four people, you know what I'm saying? Those were the people that pushed me and made me go and do the things that I was able to do.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. What about now? Now you got the whole GOAT thing going on, and you know, Dre, I don't know. Some people speculated that you might have worn number 23 because of Jordan, and you know the moves, the hanging dunks, reverse layups. You know, Bird. You played the complete game. You know, like a Scottie Pippen. So, you know, what about now? What players, if you have favorites, or who do you lean towards as the greats in the game right now?
Go ahead, Dre.
I gotta go with the King, baby. King James. I'm a King James guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Michael Jordan's the GOAT. I mean, ain't no debate in that.
Yeah, he's the GOAT all time.
All time.
You
well, truth be told, I was a KD guy. You know what I'm saying? Until he jumped on the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really like that. But you know, you can't listen. King James is undeniable, man. You know what I'm saying? The way that he plays it, bro, the way he carries himself on and off the court. I mean, there's no one that's done it like that before, you know? Yeah. So, but, you know, I just want to see him be a little bit more aggressive from time to time. But Other than that, he's right there with him.
Yeah, I think myself, Jordan is the greatest of all time, but I tell people that, you know, LeBron is probably the most skilled basketball player we've seen, just playing the game the way he does, baseline to baseline, the things that he can do inside and out, you know, over his whole career. He just got a mixture of, you know, size and ability like Jordan, ability to see the floor like Magic, and just a great player.
Just the fact that he could come in that league with grown men at 18 and just, you know, it was crazy, man. You know,
exceed expectations for sure.
Right.
All day, definitely lived up to the hype, man. No doubt about it, man. So, let's get into some 90s basketball, man. So let's before we do that, man, let's do some one word association real quick, man. I'm gonna start with Coach Bob Roden. If you could stick to one word.
Yeah, that's tough, man. You know, the one word, but I would say with Coach Roden, man, I would have to say detailed. You know, we had game plans in high school back then when nobody was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Studying tendencies and stuff like that. So I would have to say detailed for Coach Roden, man.
I have to say, arguably the best coach I ever had. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not one word, but hey, the best.
Right.
Go. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
to kind of piggyback, listen, man, I got to college. My first day of practice, I'm looking around like, you know what I mean? Like we were in junior high.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And because of all the detail that Coach Roden, you know, and all the knowledge that he passed along to us and the sets and so forth, you know, I felt like I was actually taking a step backwards, and it helped. It made me appreciate him that much more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So he was tough.
Sure.
Yeah, coach was tough, man, and you know, I didn't get a full appreciation for how good he was until I got a chance to coach beside him. And preparation and practice, you're looking at it from another perspective. You know, before the games, you know, what he's gonna say before he walks in the locker room, the adjustments, his sense of humor. You know, it's just unbelievable some of the stuff we did, man. And to this day, I still run his stuff.
Right.
And coaches come to me and is like, why do you run so much? I'm like, man, when I was in high school, man, we had 30 sets. And that wasn't including the inbounds and out of bounds plays. We had 30 sets, and we knew every last one of them. Every last one of them.
Thorough.
Very thorough.
When you heard, wait, I'm gonna tell you one thing, with two things. If you heard 50 or you heard 30,
It's on.
oh, it was a problem. It was gonna be a problem.
Hey,
now.
we gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about that for sure. For sure, man. Let's go next one. Derek Willis.
Country.
Right.
Yeah. No, hey man, look. Derek was a good dude, man. Country as heck. Barely understand him when he walked through the halls, but he was solid, man. He could shoot the ball. He helped us out, man. He alleviated a lot of pressure, you know, from Dre and I. And so I would have to say Country first and foremost, though.
I might have to go with smooth. You know, Willis was smooth. He ran the offense. He came like Berg was saying at a time when we really needed a point guard. You know, we had lost Hart. You know, Dingle was gone. Black was gone. My man Troy Lewis was gone. So it was really just me and Berg coming back, and everybody was like, okay, who else is going to get these buckets and keep the pressure off of those dudes? And man, Willis walked in the door. He was smooth with it. He was confident. He handled his business, you know. So, you know, those guys, man, Willis, my man Ant, I mean, them dudes was ridiculous, man. They was really underrated, and they put a lot of work in that year.
Talk about Harp some more, man. We prepped this a little bit, but talk about Harp a little bit. That's my dog. I talk to Harp a lot, you know. So talk about Harp for.
Harp was he was a monster, man.
Yeah, Harp was about 6'7", 6'8".
Athletic. I mean, just a man. Listen, I mean, he could do it all. He had track speed. He jumped out. He jumped out the gym. You know, he could stretch out and shoot the three. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine him at the front of the press? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you talk about him at the front of the press, man. Keith Fairnez called me yesterday when he found out we was doing this, and he was like, man, Coach Roden used to put James Harper at the front of 50.
And 30.
Yeah, and 30. And 30. And then I was roaming around in the middle trying to intercept everything.
We were so long at that time. I mean, I was like 6'2", 6'3". I was the shortest dude in the starting lineup. I mean, we were that long.
Man.
And Hart was so athletic for his size. It was ridiculous, man. And on top of that, he actually was the assistant coach at my son's high school. So he coached my son for the last 2 years. So, man, Hart was, I mean, athlete-wise, like if he had played football for real, he would have went to the NFL. Like Hart was that athletic, you know what I mean? So he was something, man. We when you look back at the caliber of guys that we had, man, we had some really good basketball players at that school. you know.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get into kind of some to those teams, man. Talk about those teams, man. Next guy on the list, man, Anthony Harris.
Oh,
Bouncy.
right.
I mean, that little joker, man, look. Yeah, he was a silent assassin too, man. You know, he had that demeanor about himself where he didn't do a whole lot of talking, but he knew exactly what was going on, and he got in where he fit in. You know what I'm saying? So he was bouncy, though. We could find him on the live, you know. So he definitely carried his weight very well, man, and was a big part of our success.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Man, when I think of Ant, I just think about a dog. Like, he was a dog before it was cool, like before that was a terminology. He didn't care who he was playing against. He didn't care where we was playing at. He was going to go out there, and whoever his man was, he was going to dig in it. He was never, ever intimidated by anything, anyone. He just was always ready to go. You know what I'm saying? And he
That's
get
what's
buckets.
up, man.
He get buckets now. You know?
Yeah.
He get buckets. He get buckets.
That double clutch.
That double clutch layup. Yes, sir. Unblockable.
Right.
Unblockable. Last one on the One Word Association, man. We'll be remiss without talking about him, man. I know y'all got a lot of respect for him, Mr. James Collins.
For sure. You know, and it was, I mean, at that time we came up, it's hard, man, to say one word, but just off the top of my head, I would say, you know, a rival. You know what I mean? Leaving Jacksonville, coming back to Jacksonville in junior high, and starting out, you know, first day of tryouts at basketball, everybody was like, yo, James gonna kill y'all. I'm like, who the hell is James? What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was, you know, like I said, we weren't from there. You know, I was back and forth, but we weren't there to know all the hoopla around it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When I was coming up, my dad, my cousins, they taught me, man, I don't care about nobody's name, what somebody else did. Hey, when you step out on that court, you got to believe that you're the best one out there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that was
Great.
you know,
I feel the same way. I mean, one word I say, yo, he was cold.
yeah.
And it's crazy. I remember when I came to junior high, Fletcher, and there was this kid that came up to me because we would have open gym before school started. And so I'm coming in there with the cookie bush, you know what I'm saying? The red cookie bush. And, you know, and they were like, yo, who's this kid? You know, and I'm in there like whooping their ass. And next thing you know, this kid comes up and was like, yo, you ain't gonna do that to James Collins. And I'm like, who is James Collins? I said, James ain't gonna do that to me. Okay? Like, yo, I don't know who you are, you know, but obviously, you know, James is our guy, you know what I'm saying? Mutual respect. Yo, he was a monster. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, obviously I played against him when he was at Florida State too. Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, he's a legend. You know what I'm saying? When you have a freaking press conference to decide where you going to school,
yeah,
to high school,
yeah,
that speaks volumes. But yo, he was ultra talented. But I'm gonna keep it real. I actually thought that he would have been a better football player. You know what I'm saying? Like I played against him in junior high school, and I saw him catch a 3-yard out, Coop, and my man burnt the road up. And guess who was guarding him though?
Don't say Larry.
Yeah, Larry was guarding him. But hey, look, he burnt the road up on that man, yo. So, yo, he was 6'3", long arms, super athletic, man. Yo, he was a beast for sure.
We didn't play against him in football in junior high, but we played against him in basketball. He came over to Mayport and dropped about 50, 60 on us. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, you know, normally, you know, you drop 45, you the high scorer. But he dropped by 60. I said, you know what, it's time. I got to get in the lab, baby.
No doubt, man. Hey, well, and another quick little story to piggyback on that. He came to Fletcher and the Joker had 6 dunks on us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, in the 9th grade. So I'm like, what? Like, I ain't dunking or none of that. But, you know, I'm still putting up numbers. Let's not get it twisted. Mm-hmm. And so we actually met them again in the playoffs. And I told my team, you know what I'm saying? Chris Hyatt, Jimmy and all them, yeah. Rayburn, okay? Look, I'm like, listen, this man is not dunking on us, okay? Ain't no more of that. So, lo and behold, we get to the game. We in it, neck and neck. We fighting. My man gets a breakaway. and Chris Hyatt. Snatches it. Now listen, we over on the north side, so it's jam-packed. All they want to see is this man take off.
For sure.
Okay?
Right.
Hyatt snatched that man by the back of his collar. No dunks, buddy. Boo! That's all you heard. You know what I'm saying? So he had no dunks that game. So that just speaks to, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, look, we respect you, big dog, but look, we here to fight too. You know what I'm saying? That's just the mentality. Right.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's what's up, fellas. We're gonna move on into the 90s, man. We're gonna move into the 90s era of basketball, man. Any basketball player that played in that decade has a certain amount of pride for that decade, especially the first quarter of it. You know what I mean? From 90 to say 94, right? I finished in 96, but if I'm keeping it real, when I graduated, we wasn't doing the numbers you guys was doing and as it pertains to doing stuff like packing the gym, and just making a draw. You know, I saw fire marshals come in and say, "Hey, ain't nobody else come in the game." You know, talk about how that was for you guys, that experience.
I mean, the first game we had like that was 10th grade. We played reball at home. And I remember the game like it was yesterday because we lost by a point and I missed 5 free throws. And I remember getting in the locker room and just feeling like I just let the whole world down. And it was because of the atmosphere I wasn't prepared for it. And I promised myself I would never let that happen to myself again. And, you know, that the rest of them after that, you know, anytime you go to Jackson, anytime you go to Reball, you know, it's going to be crazy. And then at our place, it was crazy. But, you know, it's different when it's your home fans. But yeah, man, you know, those games were special, man, when you got to play against the best. You know, people sleep on Marcel. Marcel was the truth. Marcel was every bit as good as James. He was every bit as good as us. I mean, he was the real deal. You know, he got hurt and he kind of lost a lot of explosiveness. But whenever we played against them dudes, it was, yo, we got to go. You know, and those are the games you live for, man. And, you know, not knocking anybody else, but I mean, you wasn't getting up to play against Wolfson in that time, you know, and those guys. Yeah, you know.
Be real about it.
That's the way it was. You know, it's Reball, Jackson, Rain. You know what I'm saying? The rest of them, we need to win by 30. You know what I'm saying?
The stats night.
For sure.
But no, yeah, those were definitely, man, great games to play, especially, you know, on the road. I even liked it that much more, you know what I mean? Because you're going into an environment from where they look at us like, oh, those just the guys from the beach. You know, even when I was in junior high, like I pulled up in there and they, you know, we played against some teams and I saw them walk in, they'd be like, oh, they ain't nothing but a bunch of white boys. Okay. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? So look, they had it twisted with us, you know what I mean? So we were coming in there, guns loaded, bro. So, you know, it was a good time, man. Again, Reball, Jackson, man. Yeah. It was showtime.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all talk about that, man. We're not gonna leave that on there, man, because I'm on Facebook constantly fighting for the respect of the beach. You know, after y'all left, you know, Fletcher kind of, you know, went down a little bit. Now, Derek and we held him down a little bit. We did. Amp and Willis did. They went 27-7 the next year. My junior year, we was 22-11. My senior year, we was 26-8 and made the regional final. Lost in overtime.
Right. That's when y'all lost Vince Carter, right?
Yeah. We faced Vince Carter the year before. My senior year, he was gone, and we still lost to them.
Okay.
In overtime. And after that, Myron's senior year, they had a good run 20+ games. But after that, man, people seem to forget, you know, about, you know, what kind of dogs the beach brought from, you know, the mid 80s. We get back and we start talking about Ron Anthony, but to those late 80s to the early 90s, man. Did y'all face that kind of, man, that's them beach boys? Talk about that a little bit, man.
Sophomore year, actually the year before we got there, we had a decent group of guys. I remember going over and watching them play with like Chris Harris and Nate Silva, you know, and that was when James and and Tony Dingle and Eric Black and those guys. So they had a decent squad. But our sophomore year is when we took it to another level. I think we were 27-4 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, in 3 years we lost what, 9 games?
9 games. Yeah, 9 games. Yeah, 90-9. So I mean that pretty much speaks volumes. So we were going places. It wasn't none of that. They knew what time it was. You know what I mean? So they looked in the newspaper and in the box scores and saw what was happening. You know what I'm saying? And it was undeniable. You know, so it wasn't like we were sneaking up.
Right.
Now their pride might have tried to tell them, but when we got on that court, they knew what time it was, and that's just pretty much all it was. It was respect, man. You know what I'm saying? It was all love.
I mean, there was always a stigma when you come from the beach, and it was something that Berg and I had to deal with. We started playing AAU ball with the doctors. You know what I'm saying? They looked at us like, oh, them dudes soft, they from over there, and then we get in practice, it's over.
Right.
It's almost like people have that stigma on you until you show them or prove to them, hey, I'm just as good as you are. So they say, okay, you know what? Leave them dudes alone. We welcome them dudes in, and now they're one of us. So, once we started playing with the doctors, that wasn't on us per se anymore, but it was still on our teammates.
Yeah.
Right? Them dudes official, but we can get through them by the other guys. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, when you look back, like Berg was saying, 90-9 or 91-9. The only thing that's missing from our resume is a state title. That's one thing that a lot of people might say, well, yeah, them guys were this and them guys were that, but they didn't do this. I mean, I firmly believe, and I know, we're talking years later hindsight, but we're in the state championship, actually the finals. We beat Sarasota Riverview, and Berg twists his ankle. Okay. So we get back to the room. We get to the hotel. We're roommates. And I saw his ankle when he pulled his shoe off. And I said, uh-oh, we in trouble. Because I knew we had already beat Miami High by 20 earlier in the year with him, And when I saw that ankle, I'm like, there's no way he's going to be ready to go in 36 hours. I knew my man was going to go out there and try it.
Right.
But he just, he couldn't go. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's not to make excuses. That's just facts. You know what I'm saying? If we were 100%, like we were the year before they beat us in the semifinals, man, I'd take that and live with it. But, looking back, I wish we had had the opportunity to be fully healthy and play the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And to piggyback too, about playing for the doctors and, being accepted pretty much across the bridge. We used to go over there and practice, you know what I'm saying? 2-3 times a week, you know what I'm saying? So we were practicing in Jackson. So for us, it wasn't like we walked through there and was like, oh, this is new. We was over there, we was embedded, you know what I'm saying? So, and then also with the Final Four, man, yeah, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? You can't help that. One thing though, to respect that Shaky Rodriguez, right, who's a renowned coach, you know what I'm saying, in the history books in Florida. After the game, he was like, look, man, I mean, this dude, I ain't never talked to this man, you know what I'm saying? Because he was the other side. But that man pulled me aside and was like, look, and he barely speak English. He was like, you great player. He's like, you great player. He's like, you hurt, but you know what I'm saying? We glad to win. But he was almost to the point where he wanted to see me healthy so that we could bang because, they were a really good team. We were a really good team, man. And it was a tough situation.
Berg, correct me if I'm wrong. Go ahead, Drake.
Funny thing about that, going to the north side and practicing, once we showed what we was really about, man, we got more love from the north side on that side of town than we did from the beach. You know what I'm saying? Because we recognize real. They always showed us a lot of love. They always showed us a lot of respect, and we always appreciated that.
Real talk.
That's what's up. So we was definitely gonna get into that. So about the ankle injury, man. So Berg, correct me if I'm wrong, man. I vaguely remember, and I might be wrong, man. But you was getting like round the clock treatment on your ankle, man. Like they was trying to, pulling you, you getting iced and therapy and everything, trying to get you ready to go, man. What was that like?
We had a
I mean, because we what you say? Yeah, exactly.
Which doctor coming?
Oh yeah.
Sprinkling old water.
Your pop was off the chain for that one, Yeah, man, that was tough, man. You know, because actually I was having some back issues the game prior to in the warm-ups, and I came out feeling really good in the semifinals, and you know, hit the first couple buckets. I cut back door for a dunk, sprained my ankle, and so I go down the other end. I sprained it twice in one trip up and down the floor, and so I come out of the game. We're up comfortably at the time. It's right before was it right before the half?
Yeah, I think so.
So I come out. They go to the locker room. I stay in the locker room. Obviously, they try to get me together. They tape me up. All of a sudden, I keep hearing the other team scoring. You know what I'm saying, from the locker room. I'm like, man, what in the world's going on?
Man.
So
Right.
I tape up. I go back out. I try to give it a go. And I probably shouldn't even went out there then, but I was, the adrenaline still was pumping. I still end up hitting like 3 or 4 threes.
Yeah.
And we end up winning the game. And then now it's, again, we didn't have much time to get my ankle right. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a matter of, I probably should have sat down in that game, man. So it was around the clock. They had the elevation, the ice, the whole 9 yards, but it just wasn't enough time, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate because I had never been hurt. I played football, basketball, all these years and, playing both sports, running track, all that stuff, high jump, never get hurt. But I'm going to tell you what that was. That was because I didn't lift any weights. You know what I'm saying? So if there's any young people out there that's paying attention and you acting like you're scared of that weight room, don't be scared of the weight room. Get your butt in there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going to help prevent injuries, So that's one thing that for me, I would have done that a lot more back then. Even if it ain't got to be a whole lot, but you got to get in there and do something. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it was what it was.
That's what's up, man. So let's go back a little bit, man. First, did you guys consider playing any other sports as kids other than basketball or football? Did you play any other sports?
Man, I played basketball, football, baseball. Whatever season it was, we just rotated. You know what I'm saying? Me, my brother, you know what I'm saying? My dad would sign us up for everything. You know what I mean? So we go to the baseball park, during baseball season. He would play early. I would play in the afternoon. My sister even played. You know what I'm saying? So, and my brother was good in baseball. I don't know why he stopped when he got to high school, but he used to knock that thing around.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, whatever season it was, that's what we was playing.
Yeah, that's the same, man. Same thing. Football, basketball, baseball, track. Definitely. I mean, you ain't gonna put all your eggs in one basket. So we had a good time with it.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. So one of my favorite memories, man, it's a lot of them, but one of my favorite memories, man, is like to this day, man, I kind of try to bring some early 90s swag to the gym, man, with me as a coach, man. But some of these kids just don't take to it, man. But back in the 90s, man, the bigger schools had freshman teams. Then you had JV and varsity, of course. One of my favorite memories was when y'all played Jackson your senior year. It was my first game playing JV. I had moved up from the freshman team, got promoted, small promotion, up to JV. And the crazy part about, and we're gonna let y'all talk about this, and then we're gonna move on into the story. But the crazy part about what was about y'all, man, is that y'all ain't ride the bus with us, dog. Y'all used to bring your own bus. I don't know if any other school did this, but y'all got your own bus and a police escort into hostile situations, man. And just came in the gym just when you walked in the gym, everybody just got quiet, dog. They got bored. Yeah. Y'all talk about that, man.
Hey, man, that was that swagger, man. Like, look, the community at the beach, they jumped on board, man. They loved us, you know what I'm saying? So, you had the local police, they showed all the love in the world. So they would give us the escort. But hey, man, we were just on a wave. When you're in the middle of it, man, you're not really thinking about, what everyone is thinking on the outside. We're just in there focused on, playing the game we love and having a good time with it. You know what I'm saying? And all the admiration and whatnot is great. We appreciated it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like we handled it pretty well too. And it was just a good time, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. There's no better feeling to, like you said, get off the bus and walk in the gym, and you can't even sit down and watch the JV game because it's already packed. You know what I'm saying? If that doesn't get your juices flowing and get your focus ready to go, then nothing ever will. You know what I mean? So when you You walk in the gym, you see that, like you said, a hush comes over the crowd, no matter what's going on in that JV game. And you're like, okay, this is going to be our night. You know what I mean? No matter who you're playing against, that's your mentality. This is our night, and this is our gym, and just go out there and just like Berg said, just go out there and have fun. We hadn't put in the work. So
Right.
put in the work. There's no reason to be nervous. The work is being done. Now it's just go have fun.
So, and the crazy thing is that you would expect when the rival school walks into the gym, you might get some boos or, the crowd will go crazy, just taunting you or doing whatever it is. But it was like when you're in the gym, I'm going to tell you how it felt from a spectator standpoint. It seemed like the crowd got scared. Like when y'all walked in the gym, everybody was looking around like, man, them boys serious. Look at that purple and gold.
Right.
Hey, look, quick story, man. We was playing at Bowls. Shout out to my guy Kip Stone. We was playing Bowls and we was blowing them out. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty ugly. Jerry, I'm sure you remember this. And you look up in the stands during the game, man, and they got the 10s and the 9s, you know what I'm saying? Like they judging the dunk contest, you know what I'm saying? Because that's pretty much what it was.
Right.
We was turning them over with the 30 and the 50, and we was, it was showtime. So, we're blowing them out. We get to the end of the game, and 6 minutes to go, we icing up, whatever. All of a sudden, there's a line at the end of the bench, okay, with Bowls fans coming up asking for autographs, bro.
Wow.
I'm talking, we signing jerseys, we signing socks and shoes. I mean, the game's still going on. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So just stuff like that, man, it gives me goosebumps because it's so humbling. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another school, bro. So they're obviously, you know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, man, is definitely a great memory.
Yeah, man. And continuing on with that game, man. So I got a guy, I hope he watching, man. Shout out my dog, Clarence Brookins, man. Clarence went to Jackson. And Clarence tell me this story all the time. He was like, man, the next time you talk to Coop and Bird, tell them jokers cost me my prom money. I'm going to tell y'all. Y'all remember this. First half of that game. So when I'm playing a JV game, the game over, we lost by 40. We got smoked. So Coach Cook.
You're supposed to say that, Rob. You're supposed to keep that to yourself.
Nah, you keep it 100, dog. You keep it 100. Y'all know how it go, man. All y'all bread was 100, and I was one of them people y'all bread. So we got smoked. We got smoked, man. So Coach Cook, the most realest coach in the game.
Yeah.
Coach Cook said, hey, we're going to talk about this ass whooping y'all just took tomorrow. There's too many people in this gym. Y'all take a step up and sit down because if we go in this locker room, we come back, we ain't going to be nowhere to sit.
No way. That's the truth.
He already knew. Yeah.
Right? So the game go on. JC come out, and I don't know how early it was in the game, but this man, 3 possessions in a row, dropped 3-pointers from the volleyball line. Like they was 10 footers.
Right.
Like just smooth pull-ups from the volleyball line. Nothing but the bottom of the net. So now keep me 100 right here now. Y'all going to the locker room down 15, between 10 and 15 points, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think it was 15, but we were loose. We were down.
You were down.
I would probably say like maybe 8 to 10, somewhere in there.
8 to 10 points. Okay. So they was down. I've been saying 15 for like 20 years.
Hey, you know what? Hey, look, it may have been. You know what I'm saying?
It make the story this big. So my man Clarence Brookins, he said, Ruff, he said, I don't know who it was. I was sitting next to somebody from the beach, and everybody betting money everywhere. He said, dude tapped me in the shoulder. He said, I got a band. I got $1,000 that say Fletcher come back and win this game. And the way the game going, my man Clarence was like, shoot, bet. He got his stack in his pocket. I think prom, later on in the year, he was saving, but he had his stack in his pocket. You know how it is as players.
Right.
And y'all came out, man, and we talked earlier about 30 and 50.
Right.
I don't think y'all pressed the first half, but you came out and put on that full court and half court press and put Jackson to sleep. It was Dunk City after that.
Yeah. Listen, man, the way that we played and confidence that we had in ourselves, confidence that we had in our coaching staff, we knew that it's always a 32-minute game. And it's just, our defense, our approach was, our game was like Novocaine. It might not hit you right away, but eventually it's going to get you. and we end up winning by 15 points. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was just going in there and, like you said, getting in that press, dunk, dunk, dunk. And then now all of a sudden the crowd's hype. Their crowd is now feeding our frenzy because it gets to a point where everybody in there wasn't just rooting for Jackson. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those Northside dudes, they was like rooting for us. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
and a lot of people on the fence, one or two dunks, now they fully with us now.
Yeah, for sure.
And another thing, man, James was great, and he deserved all the accolades he got, all the credit he got. But he had other good players on that team with him.
I was gonna get into that.
Mike Ross wasn't no joke. You know what I'm saying? That dude could outplay. And a lot of times,
he had 5 dunks that game.
Right. He was real. And I think a lot of times that a lot of his teammates that were really, really good, they get lost in how great James was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, getting into that game, Berg, you had some thoughts on the game?
No, man. I mean, it was just crazy that this man was pulling up from damn near half court. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking over at Coach Cooper, and he looking at me like, guard. Like, man, that man at half court, that ain't good. Oh, what do you want me to do?
Right.
So, but nah, man, the energy in the game was so crazy. It was tied going into the fourth. You know what I'm saying? And it was over with after that point, like truth be told, because we got the momentum back, and then we just continued off. And then I think it was like 101 to 80 or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, man, that was nuts, man. That's probably the most hype game that I played in school was at Jackson. And because everybody was in there. That thing was standing room only. If you didn't get a ticket by noon, you wouldn't get one, Yeah. So, that was crazy, bro. And all the dunks, I mean, it was so much back and forth with it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because everybody played well, you know what I'm saying? Guys that were supposed to play well. Dre had 40. I had 29. James had 29. I think Mike Ross had, 25, and then, Derek played well and played well. Everybody played well. We put up 100 points, you know what I'm saying? There's enough to go around, you know what I'm saying? So, it was an entertaining game for sure.
100 points in 32 minutes. That's a lot.
32. Real talk.
And then the fact, I just remember we were taking the ball out under their basket. And they threw it to you. You was cutting down the middle. And you caught it about the 3-point line. Just one dribble.
One dribble.
Yo, hey, that was like an airplane landed in there. Yo, it was so loud. And we was on the road.
No, it's different. It's different when you dunk the basketball and you're in the press and you get a steal and you go dunk the ball. But when you go dunk the ball, when they whole team in the lane,
that's different. That's different.
Yeah, man. That was a great feeling, man. I didn't even know how to celebrate. If you see the highlight tape, I don't know what I did. Hey, look, I was like, dang, Cody. I caught 2 of them down there. We ain't gonna say no names.
Yeah, we ain't gonna say who it was. Man. I respect those guys for sure.
Yeah, I do. I love them dudes.
Yeah, man. So, just to put it in perspective, when people question, talk about, well, they didn't win a state championship. That Jackson team was a state championship team, just to put it in perspective on what kind of matchup that was. They were a state championship team. So, when you start talking about the guys that you guys played, man, and I ain't even bringing this up, man. I'm jumping around because we having a great conversation, man. But thinking about your team, and somebody will have to keep me, honest about this. Maybe one of those news media guys, man. But you guys were ranked top 15, top 11 in the whole country as a public school, man. So, I don't know if a public school's ever done that. A lot of people go private now, and these private schools can reach those accolades, man. But, you guys are pretty tough being top 11 in the country.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we were fortunate, man. We just came at the right time. It was the right collection of people. You know what I'm saying? Because not only were we good basketball players, but we're good people. We're good kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't out doing stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? We cared about one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bird was, he's been a brother to me since 8th, 9th grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I got married, he was in my wedding because he was one of those dudes that had, been integral in my growth as a man. So, you know, it's like basketball brought us all together, football brought us all together, but it's much deeper than that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. For sure. So we're gonna keep going, man. Did you guys, you know, what do you guys think about the matchup between that 91-92 Fletcher team and that if you could put a simulation to the 92-93 team, if you could do a simulation between those two teams, what do you think would happen? How many overtimes?
Well, I'll start by this. I mean, we would win. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's for sure.
He'll win.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I thought about that today too, man. I thought about that one kind of long and hard, man. And it's hard to say because that team, our junior year, man, we were so big.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we were big, bro. Like, bigger than my college team at points in time. You know what I'm saying? But not just big, but big and athletic. So, and you know, our senior year, I was more or less playing the 4. You know what I'm saying? So I'd have been down there having to wrestle with Dingle and Harper. So I'm looking at it from that angle too. So I don't know, man. It would have been you know, we definitely from a precedent. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, man. It really is.
Like I was thinking about it because when we talked earlier, I was like.
Mm-hmm.
But as I continue to think about it, I was like probably 92 just because of the length. You know what I'm saying? And it just would have been too much. And like when Black was doing his thing and Troy was just lights out. You know, like you couldn't play zone against that team. You know,
right?
So it was just, you know, 93 was really good, but Ant and Derek, they were still growing into those spots, you know. Like next year, like them dudes was the dudes, you know. They held it down, but the Harp is just the X factor. Dingle was just a monster, man. Them dudes were sick, man.
Straight up.
So did when you was playing at Fletcher with Roden, did you guys play in the Northside Summer League?
Well, we had 2 teams. One team would play in one league, and then we played on the north side.
Yeah. That Northside Summer League is one that molded men. You know, nobody else, I don't know about when y'all played, but when we was in it, nobody else, it was all Northside and then Fletcher.
Right.
You know, nobody else wanted that smoke.
None. Hey, they literally smoke because it'd be hot as hell in that game.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. Try to leave that back door open, like that's gonna help. Man, it's 100 degrees out there. Cut
the AC on, man. Pass out some 100 dribbles or
something. We used to freeze them out at Fletcher. You come in there, it was brick.
Right. Right. Sure. But like you said, Ruff, man, you was either gonna get better or you just gonna get left behind playing in that league.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So moving on, man, we get into some college stuff, man. Did y'all ever think about playing college ball together?
Yeah, I mean, the same dudes that was recruiting me was recruiting him. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it was so much, man. It was going on. He was getting recruited for basketball and football. I was getting recruited for basketball and football. Like neither one of us really even knew which one we wanted to play. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. I mean, he did his visits, I did mine. I mean, it was like going through it as a teenager, it was cool. Then going through it with my son, it was nerve-wracking. It was a totally different experience. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but yeah, we talked about it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Then it got to the point where it was like, yo, you know, at the end of the day, you got to do what makes you happy. I got to do what makes me happy. Shit, we always gonna be tight. It really don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, worked out the way that it was supposed to.
Right. Absolutely right. Yeah. So there were a couple times we talked about it, like Georgia. You know what I'm saying? A couple other places. So, but yeah, I think he made the perfect decision to go there. Although I think he was a better basketball player, but hey, that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of people who thought I was a better football player. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. And that's a blessing, man. We're so blessed to go to school, not have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? And then go on to even play on beyond that. So yeah, it's all love, man. But we definitely thought about it.
Dude, we played these dudes. After football season was over, I went to basketball. So we go up to Raleigh and we playing against them. And it's crazy because I want to pass this dude the ball so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't play 1,000 games together.
Right.
Like, oh no, he on another team now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like almost being in a Twilight Zone. You know?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that Spider-Man meme of the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Bird, question for you, man. Talk about what led into your decision to go to NC State. Like, what was your top 3 to 5 schools? What led to your decision to go to NC State?
Man, you know what? I went on a couple football visits, and then I went on a basketball visit. Well, I went to Georgia. They were going to allow me to play both, and which was intriguing, you know, because I wanted to. I didn't want to give up either sport. Then I would, figure out which one made the most sense, and but I didn't like Ray Goff, so I kind of nixed them. You know what I'm saying? And so then I was looking at Purdue for football. They wanted me to play quarterback, and then Carolina, UNC for football with Mac Brown, which he's back there now. And to be honest with you, man, that was my best visit. Was over in Chapel Hill. Mac Brown he just seemed genuine and solid. You know what I'm saying? So I was literally going to commit to them and play wide receiver, but he read my mind when I was sitting in his office. He was like, I'm offering you a scholarship. He was like, however, you got to be 100% football. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, Coach, I appreciate you being up front with me, but no thank you, because I'm not ready to hang them up yet. You know what I'm saying? And so then I went to East Tennessee State as a favor for Joe Reynolds. You know what I'm saying? I had Clemson on the table. So there were some really good teams. South Florida for basketball, Purdue, as I mentioned, for quarterback, and they actually took Drew Brees, I want to say maybe 2 years later or something along that line. So it was supposed to be that same style of play, spread it out and throw the ball. But I chose NC State because, at the time they were coming out of, they had a lot of history, first of all. They won 2 chips, 74 and 83. Then they had Fire and Ice, Rodney Monroe and Chris Corchiani. And I'm thinking, this is the ACC. You know what I mean? If you think of basketball, there's nowhere else you want to go. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's Tobacco Road. So that was very intriguing. I had family from up here. My mom was from North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? In the mountains. So, that was also a positive. And I chose them because, at the time the team wasn't all that great, but I know me, and I know that, the competitive spirit that I have. I felt like, I could help be one to help turn this thing around. You know what I'm saying? So I decided to go to NC State basically because it was ACC. I knew I was going to be playing against the best players in the world. You're looking at your Grant Hills. You know what I'm saying? I came in with Tim Duncan. I came in with Jerry Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace, James Collins. All these guys, Jeff McGinnis, and the list goes on. You know what I'm saying? So, it was a challenge. You know what I'm saying? It was really fun. So that's pretty much where I was at mentally. If I was going to play football, it would have been UNC, which is kind of crazy because I ended up coming back to the Triangle for another visit. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, when I was playing, Dean Smith pulled me aside, man, and was like, man, if I would have known you were gonna be this good, I would have let Coach know he needed to go ahead and sign you up. You know what I'm saying? So when you hear, Michelangelo say things like that too, that's very humbling as well. But yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking about, man. Just trying to challenge myself, at the next level, and what better way to do it than in the ACC.
Hey, so cool. Before you get into your recruitment, man, do I remember correctly, you missed a basketball game, was it a playoff game, or was it a tournament to go on a recruiting visit?
No, I played, and then we had a police officer there who was a Georgia alum.
Okay.
So he gave me a police escort. There was a airport right down Beach Boulevard, like a little independent airport. So Ray Goff had his private plane there. I jumped on a plane and flew out. But like Georgia was right there at the end because they was recruiting Jeremy, they was recruiting me, and then he was kind of like, man, I'm not feeling Buddy. You know what I mean? So then when he said that, I was like, okay, you know, that's kind of out for me. But you know, I took my 4 visits. I went to Notre Dame, and I got off the plane, man, in first week of January, and it was snow everywhere. And I said, man, listen, y'all might as well send me home. This is over. You know, like, nah, this is not gonna happen. And then I went to Georgia. I went to Miami. I went to Florida State, and I had a visit scheduled for Florida, and I canceled it. I'm like, I'm not going there, so I canceled it. And it was just, you know, Florida State just felt right. They had a receiver coach there at the time, Coach Eason, who was, you know, he was a black coach, and I really felt, you know, like a connection, an affinity for him. And, you know, he told me that he was going to be there for me. It's like, man, you know, you come here, I'm going to be here 4 years. I've been here for 15 years, and I ain't going anywhere. And after my freshman year, he left. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Imagine that.
Right. And so that was my introduction to, hey, this is not high school ball anymore. This is big time business. And that man made a decision for himself and his family. You know what I'm saying? So it forced me to take a look at the situation and understand that, hey, man, hey, this is about money. This is big business. These people got you on scholarship here paying, you know, X amount of dollars for you to go to school. And, you know, you need to handle your business. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not fun when all your games on TV and you're not playing and you got to come home and people ask you, hey, man, why you ain't playing? You know what I'm saying? So that was always something that drove me. It was like, yo, we playing on TV. I'm getting in there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was the reason why I went to Florida State, man. Coach E and Coach E boned down on me.
Hey, look, that man, listen, don't let that man sit here and talk like that. That man had everybody coming up in there, though, bro. I'm talking from a basketball standpoint, too. Roy Williams and them was up in there. You know what I'm saying? It was thick in there, bro. Shucks, I messed around. Notre Dame is probably one of the reasons why I'm at NC State, while we're here on this. We played against First Coast, and Notre Dame came and watched us play.
Jimmy Black.
Jimmy Black was an assistant coach, Notre Dame. So I had a good game, had a couple nice dunks or whatever, and he was in love, right? And so he called Buzz Peterson. You know who Buzz Peterson is, right? Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan's roommate in college. So they all played together on that 83 team, you know, for UNC. Anyway, Buzz was an assistant coach at NC State at the time. And so when he called him, he came up and watched us play in the districts over at Terry Parker against Sandalwood. And I went for 40, and they offered me a scholarship right on the spot. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how I'm tied to UNC, which, you know what I'm saying, I am not too big of a fan of them anyway. You know how it goes. Right. But hey, I'm tied to them, man, so it's all love.
Well, that's, like, it's funny hearing him tell that story because people always looked at him like, yo, you know, Coop score all the points. But, like, he could score any time that he wanted to. But he just did so much other stuff. I got in foul trouble in that game. I only scored like 6-7 points that game. And he said, hey, man, shit, I got it. He scored. He couldn't miss. And that night, we was talking about how he was on fire. We get in the car after the game. We go to his house. His house is on fire. Okay?
Oh, man, I remember that.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
It's crazy, man.
And that's where the interview came right afterward when you interviewed me on the highlight tape. Now, This is a shout out to Coach Battle and Coach Murray, you know what I'm saying? Because, and also the OG, there was an OG who we played when we were younger. They had us playing against these grown men over there on the north side.
Right.
And, you know, and I had a really good game, and the OG pulled me to the side and was like, yo, you were shooting it well. You know, what was that? And I was like, I was in the zone. And he was like, stay in that zone. And I was like, so, you know, again, you take little things like that from the OG. So fast forward to, you know, where this interview and Dre's, you know, he's messing around. Bird, you know, we're here with Jeremy Hyatt. He just hit his career high 40 points. Jeremy, tell the people how you feel. And I was like, I was in the zone, coach. You know what I'm saying? Because That's how they used to say that. You know what I'm saying? When you hear
Right.
Murray, you hear Battle, they
Coach.
don't say coach. They say coach. So,
Coach.
you know what I'm saying? we used to have a good time with it, though, man.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up, man. So Dre, talk about how difficult it was for you to choose. And this is something that a lot of people, man, just, they ask me, I don't know. And I'm pretty sure you've gotten the question, how difficult was for you to choose football over basketball when you was in college?
It wasn't difficult at all because football was paying the bills. So it was like, and I didn't want to talk to him. What happened was, a lot of people, like people close to me know the story, but you know how freshman year is. You get there, you go into class, and then one of the upperclassmen says to me, "Hey man, you don't have to go to school every day, right? You don't have to go to class." So I'm like, "What you mean?" He's like, "You don't have to go to class every day." So man, that's all I needed to hear. Mom ain't here, dad ain't here. I can do what I want to do. And I wasn't handling my business like I was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like I was accustomed to doing. So one day I go to class, I come home, and my mom and dad, they're sitting in my dorm room. It's like a Tuesday, a random Tuesday. So I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing here? So my mom goes in her purse, pulls out my report card. So she was like, we need to talk about this. I'm like, okay, give me an hour and a half. I got practice. I'll be right back. She said, oh, no, that's over. Okay.
Wow.
If you a chance to do that, you can't handle it, that's over. So what you gonna do? Well, football's paying the bills. So it was, Coach Kennedy, man, I'm sorry. Coach Z, sorry, man. But it was a valuable lesson for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it showed me that at any moment, something that you love can be taken away if you don't do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So from that moment forward, man, it was straight 3.0s. I got my degree, you know what I'm saying? And it's been the foundation of my life ever since, you know what I'm saying? My parents always stressed education. All of my brothers and sisters graduated from college, you know what I'm saying? So it's something that's been important to us. Our parents stressed that to us, and I do the same with mine.
Berg, did that decision, when you heard about the decision that they had, how did you feel about it? Did it impact you knowing your court brother had to make a tough choice?
I mean, look, I understood. I mean, the guy was the number one wide receiver in the country. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he made the decision that was best for himself and his family, Again, that's a tough juggle. I mean, not too guys do that. I mean, Trey Ward did it, but it's not like he was out there getting 30. You know what I mean? And he was fortunate enough to go to the league with it. But hey, man, that's a tough thing to juggle, especially with class every day. I mean, they're arguably the best team in the country year in and year out. So there's a lot of pressure from that standpoint too. So yeah, he made the right decision, man. At the end of the day,
Nice.
but truth be told, whichever decision that he decided to do he was going to do what he needed to do. You know what I mean? Because that's just what he's made of. So
Facts on that, man. So both of y'all a little bit, man. Talk about just being in college, man, and the sports that you guys had success in. Talk about, your experiences, man, good, bad, something the kids can learn from, anything that you wish you would have done better. Talk about the stuff that you did well and you did well at.
I mean, for me, man, just understanding that once you go to college, nobody cares what you did in high school anymore. You know what I'm saying? Everybody here is an All-American. Everybody here was All-State. So it's like you hang those accolades on the wall, and that's the end of it. It's time to go to work. And for me, it was a very humbling situation when you go from everybody patting you on the back to, hey, go stand over there on the sideline, and when we get up 40-0, maybe we'll put you in. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that was the reality of the situation. You know what I mean? You come in and, 5 or 6 of the guys in front of you who are future NFL players, like you can either go one or two ways. You can ask to transfer out, or you can get to work and say, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to earn my spot. And, I took some pushing to get there. Quick story. We go to New York. We play Kansas in the kickoff classic, my very first game in college. I get in the fourth quarter, catch a long pass. Next week we play Duke. I maybe play maybe a handful of plays. So back then, we didn't have cell phones. So we fly back, get to Tallahassee the next morning. I call my dad and I say, hey man, you know, this ain't for me. I want out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like they told me this, they told me all this great stuff, and they ain't even playing. So I'm talking, and he's not talking back. You know what I'm saying? So I look, and the line's dead. So I'm like, dang, my phone must have died. I call him back. I was like, yo, what happened? He said, man, I don't have time to listen to that. He's like, I don't have time to listen to that, man. You know what I'm saying? If you need me to hold your hand and wipe your tears, it's not going to happen. You're a big boy now. You know what I'm saying? So that was like my welcome to college moment. And from that moment forward, it pushed my work ethic, because my work ethic wasn't always the best in high school because I was talented. You know what I'm saying? And so I learned how to work. And that was what propelled me to be, you know, all ACC first team twice, honorable mention All-American in '95, being inducted in the Orange Bowl Hall of Fame, all of that stuff that, you know, my dad instilled in me is what pushed me toward that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm forever grateful for all the stuff that he did for me, man, because he never ever, you know, he coached me, and he coached me hard, he coached me fair, but he never stood out and said, hey, this is about me. He always, hey man, you do that. He stayed in the background, but you know, he was a man that taught me how to be a man. You know?
Good stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar. I mean, you definitely go through growing pains, you know what I mean? Going from, again, everyone patting you on the back, man. You know, I'm playing in the ACC. We were the doormat, you know? So you go from blowing people out by 30 to getting beat by 30. And so that was very humbling, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I know who I am and who I was at the time. So I was still trying to put my best foot forward, you know? You learn so much from those defeats. Like my freshman year, I never forget, we played the ACC. We played on ABC against Duke, and I look up in the crowd and I see Jada Pinkett sitting up in the stands. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa! And she's dating Grant Hill, I guess, at the time. And you know, Dick Vitale's over there on the sideline. I mean, you know, there's these little things like that. And you know, we come out of halftime, we went 4 for 30. You know, and they're chanting 4 for 30. I mean, just stuff like that, bro. You know, and we end up losing by 35. And
Wow.
you know, you sitting in the locker room with these dudes, and all you used to doing is you 90-9 just a minute ago. You know what I mean? So it's definitely it's a we talk about being humble. You know, so it's a life lesson. So one thing that I took pride in though was and I'm gonna tell you, man, there was a coach there that you know, that I kind of took a liking to. His name was Eddie Biedenbach. And he was always 100, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever he said. And he would always tell me, he said, you're good. You know what I'm saying? He said, don't pick up any bad habits. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as just, because when you lose, you can, I guess it's contagious, right? Just like if winning's contagious. So, you know, I always kept that in my, you know, in the back of my mind. And, you know, we didn't really, you know, reach heights that you hope for. But we did make strides, and we were the bottom of the barrel. But one thing I can say is when I got to my senior year, we got a new coach. It was Herb Sendek, and he came in. And I'm a student of the game, as you guys already know. And I feel like I have a decent basketball IQ, so I was thirsty for tutelage. And when this man came in, I was happy. But he came in on a whole nother level. Like he was trying to run guys out of town, you know what I'm saying? But he had a great basketball mind. So, you know, we had to, you know, you had to be tough. You had to be thick-skinned. You had to have a tough mind. And long story short, we ended up winning more games my senior year. And I was pretty much, you know, one of the leaders of the team. And, you know, we ended up going to the ACC championship game. You know what I'm saying? And with a chance to, you know, and now, you know, to even go back a little bit further than that, I got hurt my senior year. Hadn't been hurt all my career. Same thing in high school. Went through my whole high school, never got hurt. Twist my ankle my senior year, same ankle. So I'm pretty much going throughout the whole season on a bum ankle. I come out my first 2 games and score 22 points. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on track. I'm feeling confident, you know. You get injured. Now, you know, there's a backtrack. Fight through that adversity, you know what I'm saying? End up winning. We end up winning our last 4 ACC games, right? Going into, now I'm starting to get back to Jay Hyatt. We win 3 games in the ACC tournament. So now that's 7 straight. You see what I'm saying? and we end up losing to Carolina in the championship, but we did get postseason play for the first time since freaking 1990. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was, you know, that was very gratifying to know that, you know, we got postseason play and we finished with over 20 wins. You know what I mean? So I guess you got to look at it from a different perspective. Yeah, we didn't win 30 games or whatever the case and win championships, but, you know, coming from where we came a long way. And I felt like I was a decent part of that.
Yo, Ruff, this dude was like Jordan in that area. Like straight up. Like I would go up there in the summertime and hang out, and we'd be out somewhere, and like you'd be paying for stuff. I'm like, yo, that's Hyatt's boy. Everything's on the house, you know. So we just got to the point. Every time I went somewhere, I'm like, yo, I'm Hyatt's boy, you know.
And look, yeah, man, it was some good times, man.
Sure.
And like when I set this up, man, when we put this together, man, I knew when I was asking y'all to do this, man, that I was gonna try to how to make people understand, because like you said earlier, Dre, a lot of people say, you know, Andre scored all the points and tried to, you know, put Jeremy second. And I'm like, man, being there, watching, and it's like, no. These two are the same superhero. They equal superheroes right here. You know what I mean? So that story right there tells it all.
Right. And you know, it's funny because like Berg was so good that he could do anything. He could guard 1 through 5. You know what I'm saying? He could score anytime he wanted to. But he took more pleasure in assisting, seeing other people score. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you push him to the point where like he gotta do it, he gonna do it. He can go and get 30. Like he could go and get 30 any night. You know? Right. But, you know, I think in all years we played together, we only got an argument one time. And we was with Coach Battle and Coach Murray. We was somewhere, he passed up a shot. I'm like, yo, shoot that. That's you. So passed up another shot. I'm like, Bird, what's up? He's like, man, let me play my game. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean, them easy buckets for you. Like, you know, but that's how he played. You know what I'm saying? He was, if he wanted to get 30, he'd get 30. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't important. You know?
Yeah, for me, I was more, again, like I said, just a whole all-around game. I felt like I like to be the glue. You know what I'm saying? I was more of a glue guy. And so I saw the importance of, look, I could have gotten 25, and me and Dre both would have been there. Dre would have been at 30. I'd have been at 25 or whatever. But, you know, we also knew that there were other guys on this team that we needed in order for us to be successful. So if I, you know what I mean, if I go out there and I score 25, that's going to take away from Willis getting his money. That's going to take away from Amp getting his money, you know, things of that nature. And then, I don't know, that's just how I've always been. I've always been more of a peanut butter, you know what I mean? So that's just how it's always been. Even in college, I was the same way, you know what I'm saying? And then when I played professionally, it still was the same way. However, it was a little bit more pressure applied because, you know, they was putting food on the table, you know what I'm talking about? So with them, you know, the caliber of those guys, they weren't on the level. So, you know, you're going to score more. But, yeah, but at the end of the day, man, I felt like I was, you know, like a Scottie Pippen type or even a LeBron James, per se, type. Pass first, you know. I thought I was a point guard, you know what I'm saying, growing up. I played the point at State, you know, which people don't even, you know, realize. I played the 4 at NC State. So what that does is, like, from a versatility standpoint, you don't have to be in one position if you know how to play the game. You know what I'm saying? You just, you know, and so that's kind of how, you know, that's how I've always been, man, which is kind of crazy because that kind of took away from some things too, because I took that, you know, the coach came to me and was like, hey, man, do you mind doing this? You know what I'm saying? And I did it for the betterment of the team, right? When really and truly, you know, for guys who are trying to get to a level, you got to play your play. So I say that to say this. I played in the PIT, Port Smith Invitational Tournament, right? Top 65 seniors. I don't even they don't even pick me to go. But somebody dropped out. So it was Danny Strong who was going from our team. And one of our assistant coaches was like, yo, I got another guy right here. He can come right up. It's in Virginia. We'll drive right up. Boom. So they throw me in there. Go to this tournament. Guess who wins the tournament? Right. So my team wins the tournament. My coach comes to me and says, yo, I didn't know you were like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you're the MVP on this team. And I got dudes I was playing with dudes who played in the league. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it's just the game at the end of the day. And sometimes you sacrifice, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. But, you know, it just is what it is. So I have no regrets.
So we going to close it up, man. I got just a couple more questions, man. I know y'all got better things to do to sit here and talk to me, man. So
Sleep.
talk about your pro experiences, man. Your transition to the pro.
Oh man, it was, my senior year, I had a really good junior year. I came back my senior year. I ended up getting hurt. Actually, I had a scope on my knee, missed like 4 games, go to the combine, still wasn't right, go undrafted. I get to Denver, and like right away, they were like, this kid can play, you know what I mean? But they didn't have a spot for me. So we go to the first preseason game, man, the first 3 quarters go by, I'm like, okay, now I got to get and make something happen, earn a spot on this team. Whole 4th quarter goes by, never got in. So I'm walking off the field and I'm like, dude, this ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Offensive coordinator at the time was Gary Kubiak. He comes, he puts his arm around me. He said, listen, we already made up our decision. We're going to keep you on our practice squad. He's like, we don't want to put you out there because we know you're going to ball and somebody else going to pick you up, So my whole first year, I was on the practice squad out in Denver. We win the Super Bowl. We come back the second year. I led the league in catches in the preseason, make the team, right? So I'm riding high, man. Shit, I'm 3rd receiver. I'm good to go. Man, we get to practice Monday, practice Tuesday, practice Wednesday comes. They're like, hey, you down this week. I'm down, So they had drafted a guy in the first round the year before. He got first dibs. More money tied up in him. Well, he goes out. He don't make it happen. They trade. So I was there all that year, played a lot of special teams, played some 3rd and 4th receivers. Next year we come back, they brought in a bunch of old dudes, Andre Reed, Robert Brooks, those type guys. Make the team again. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. 3rd year, we riding. Midway through the season, somebody gets hurt, they let me go. You know what I'm saying? So around that time, it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. I get cut on a Tuesday, which is an off day in the NFL. I'm at Best Buy every Tuesday buying DVDs. I get the phone call, put everything back on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where these next checks coming from, but boy, these DVDs ain't that serious anymore. So that's Tuesday. That Thursday, my son's mother, my girlfriend at the time, tell me she's pregnant with my son. So I'm like, God, what you doing to me, baby? You know what I'm saying? So, from there, I went and played arena for a couple of years, went over to NFL Europe, man. Football has been good to me. I've been a lot of places that I would not have been. I've been to Australia. I've been to, London. I've been to Paris. I've been to Madrid, Barcelona. All these places around the world that I never would have got the opportunity to go to. But, the game of football afforded me the opportunity to go see those places. I mean, I've been everywhere in the States, you know what I'm saying? Any big city, every state, I've been there. I've got to experience a lot of things that, otherwise I wouldn't have, man. So, regardless of, at the end of the day, when I was a kid, I dreamed about playing in the NFL, playing in the NBA. And how many kids dream something and actually get to live it? Right. So I was fortunate, man, and it was a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that was responsible for my success. Like, I can go back and talk about my dad, but my junior high coach, Coach Rozier, man, we still tight to this day. He's texted me 3 times since we've been on the call. Coach Battle, Coach Murray, rest in peace, man. Those guys just meant so much to us. And the things that they taught us, we still leaning on today, man. We passing it on to, the guys that I coach now. Those lessons I learned from them, I'm passing it on. And they don't even know who I'm getting this stuff from. They think it's coming from me. And those guys' legacies will continue to live on. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. How about you, Bert?
Hey man, yeah, it was an experience, bro. Like, I played in Europe, for 6, 7, 8 years, and
You sound like Murray just did.
like 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years. But yeah. But
Shout out to
no,
Coach
man,
Murray.
I started out in I played in the USB coming out right out of college. They had a team here in Raleigh. And so we played up and down the East Coast of East Coast of the U.S. And that was in the summertime. And then I ended up going over to France. I played in France in Saint-Étienne. So that was an experience, man. Was over there for 9 months. Played well, but I always had aspirations of playing in the league. So I actually ended up coming home after that first year, and I bounced around on some of the semi-pro leagues. And when I tell you there's a lot of talent in those leagues, I mean, there's a gray area, right, between actually playing in the league and not playing in the league, right? There's guys who played in the league that probably shouldn't have played in the league and vice versa. And, it's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time, maybe having the right connection. But, kind of to piggyback on what Dre said, I was able to travel the world and also travel throughout the U.S. and see parts that, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to. So, but I played in France, had a really good time there. I played in the UK, in Newcastle, England, had a lot of success, won like 6, 7 championships over there. So, I mean, it was, like you said, basketball has been a blessing. It's allowed me to see Paris. It's allowed me to see London. It's allowed me to see, Venezuela. I played over there for a while. China. So I've got the chance to see things that a lot of people haven't had a chance to. And it's also, again, taught a lot of values too, when you're even in life, as far as with your family, in life, as far as your job, I mean, you got to be mentally tough, man. Cause you can get cut from a team at any moment, when you're over there playing, if you ain't holding your end of the bargain. So, you can't take it lightly, man. For these young fellas, right, man, you got to work on your game. You know what I'm saying? You got to put time into your craft, man, because these jokers are cutthroat out here. And that's not only that. That's also even in your workplace and with your family. Like you gotta be on your game, man. So, again, I've had a great time. I had a great time with it, man. And again, I try to pass those lessons along to my son, my daughter. You know what I'm saying, and other young kids that are out here in the community, man. And and just try to be a positive force for them. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, man. Definitely, man. First, and I want to, before we wrap, man, I wanted to give a shout out to both of you guys' families, man, your parents. When I was a freshman, the tutelage that I got from the Coopers, and the love that we got from both of your moms, man, allowing us to come hang out at houses before games, and we ain't no good. They don't know who child some of us are, man, but y'all parents, man, really just hugged our program, man, and it made it great, man. So shout out to them, man. And y'all got anything you want to say to your parents? And Jeremy, I know rest in peace to your mom too, man.
Yeah, I mean, my mom was a team mom, man. You know what I mean? She was always down. I mean, every road trip, and Drake can attest to this, AAU tournaments, she was an organizer. Like, she organized the bus for us to go to 16U out in Memphis. And, we went to Winston-Salem and played in 17U. And, even when we ran over someone on the road and we had to pull over and we had to get that hotel, and Larry almost fell down. And Larry almost fell down that hill. But no, man, listen, she was a ride or die, bro. You know what I'm saying? That was my dog. You know what I'm saying? She had the biggest heart on the planet. She welcomed everybody in, man. And for me, I just learned so much from that because, I'm that type of dude. You know what I'm saying? I try to be a glue guy. I want everybody to get along. I want everybody to eat. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how she was. If there was someone that didn't have it, if there was a kid that was out in AAU and they didn't have any money, she would buy the food for the kid. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't like she was, we weren't rich. You know what I'm saying? So it's all love, man. And I wouldn't be where I'm at without her, without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? So, she did her thing.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. I mean, me, Scurry, I mean, we ate more over his house than we did at home, honestly. You know, so you know, his mom was a mom to me. My mom was a mom to him. You know what I'm saying? So, and anybody that knows that used to come to our game, they was always right next to each other. No matter where we was playing at, they was gonna be next to each other. And if anybody say anything about me or him, they're gonna have to hear about it. You know?
Even if it's a referee,
Right.
Hey, look, I remember. Hey, look, I'm a cut, but there was a game, man. We played against Jacksonville East Side senior year. Now they beat us. That's one of the 3 losses that we had. Was at East Side. They had a good team. They were 3A. They're number 1 in the state. And man, the game ends. The crowd. It was East Side, so it was a little rowdy out there. You know what I mean? At the game, and a lot of trash talking going on. All of a sudden, the game's over, and we're trying to get out of there. Excited because they won. All of a sudden, I see this Mount Ducan come by my face about this close. I'm like, oh, hey, I get to the locker room. I'm like, yo, Trey, man, they throwing sodas at us. They think they should get us out of there. So we like, man, I don't know. So afterward, I go out, I speak to my mom, give her a hug. Man, they was throwing cans. And boy, Miss Coop started laughing. She said, boy, that was your mama. She was trying to get the referee. Yes, hey, boy, that was a moment right there, bro.
Oh man,
like real talk, man, and I don't, Jeremy knows, man, he's my brother. He knows I love him, man, and the amount of time that we spent together, and over the years, and when you go your separate ways and stuff, man, that type of relationship and the type of love we have for each other, it sustains. You know what I'm saying? It's like we might not talk to each other every day on the phone. We might, talk to each other once or twice a month or, here and there, man. But it's like when I see his name pop up on my phone, I smile because he's my brother. You know what I'm saying? And so, no matter what he's going through, we've already been through together, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's deep, man. It's like I said, it's, sports is cool, but we ain't played ball together since '93.
Right.
And it's 2020, and we sitting here talking like we just saw each other yesterday. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff you can't fake that. That's real. And that's what I take from sports. That's the most important thing to me because I'm 44 now. I don't remember all the games. I don't remember a lot of stuff, but I remember the relationships. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing,
Yeah, that's real talk. So that's probably the number one thing, man. The relationships throughout. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just all love, man. I mean, that's the thing that you can look back on and cherish the most. I mean, even the young guys like yourself, and and on down the ranks, man. Just those relationships, the love that we give each other, that we show each other. I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day, man. So I appreciate you guys all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Coach Cooper, he's on, man, and I'm gonna tell y'all a quick funny story, man. Then we're gonna wrap, man. Coach Cooper is one of the reasons why I coach how I coach today, and that's absolutely positively just being 100 all the time. So we sitting in the cafeteria right before we getting ready to go in. Coach Cooper was my JV coach when I was in the 10th grade. I was supposed to play varsity as a 10th grader, but I tore my patella tendon first day of school. So Coach Cooper was the JV coach, and we sitting in the cafeteria waiting to go, and I think we waiting for varsity to come out, and we sitting there, and we talking about who the starting 5 gonna be. So people call out the starting 5, and somebody said my name, and Coach Cooper said, "Who? Courtney? In my starting 5?"
Coop was wild.
And I'm sitting right there, man. I'm sitting right there. I'm sitting right there, man. And Coach Coop, man, he ended up coming to some games, during my senior year and pulled me to the side and he said, hey man, you done got way better. But I had to tell Coach Coop, man, I never forgot what you said to me in my face in that cafeteria that day, man. I never forget it. And I coach like that now. You can ask anybody, I coach like that now. I tell a kid in a minute.
Right. That's the only way to be, man.
That's right.
They'll respect you for it.
Absolutely. So we're going to wrap up, man. Tell everybody, man, what y'all got going on right now.
Oh, man, you know, my number one thing right now, man, is, you know, I'm a dad, man. You know, my son, you know, he's 18. He's getting ready to go off to school to sign a football scholarship to VMI's Division 1 AA program up in Lexington, Virginia. Then I have a 3-year-old, man, my daughter Taylor, man. She is all over the place, man. She's keeping me young. My wife, man, we've been married now for 5 years now. You know what I'm saying? So, man, they consume my life, man. You know, and you know, I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed, man. And you know, my kids are great. My wife's great, man. We just living life, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I have a 17-year-old daughter. You know what I'm saying? She's about to be a senior. And then I have my son, 12-year-old, who has aspirations of playing in the league. Yeah, so my daughter, she plays ball too. You know what I'm saying? She's a good teammate. And, you know, that's what it's all about, man. Just trying to pass down, you know, the knowledge and the love to them. You know what I'm saying? To be great, to go out to be great people, man. And they're on the right track. You know, they're both very bright in school. And so, man, yeah, it's all love, man. So I'm just chilling out here, man, just working in the car business, business manager at a big dealership. So I stay busy with that for sure. But yeah, definitely, you know, living life, man.
That's good stuff, man. Well, I appreciate y'all boys for jumping on, man. It's something that you didn't have to do, but you guys were eager to get on, man. I told you the city wanted to hear from you, the beach wanted to hear from you, man, and you guys absolutely positively were 100% down with it. And I appreciate you guys jumping on, man, with this Goats Only talk, man, because y'all definitely deserve to be mentioned, not only as the best in the city ever to do it, but this whole country, man. You guys were fun to watch for everybody, man, for a good amount of time in high school, man, and beyond. So we appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right,
yeah,
man.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you, C.
All right, man. Y'all be good.
All
All
right,
right,
All right, this wraps, man. Goats Only series, man. Volume number 2. I got another one coming to you guys on Thursday, man. It's gonna be a big one, man. We're gonna have the city's all-time leading scorer in basketball, Myron Anthony, Fletcher's own Myron Anthony. A lot of people call him the GOAT, you know, but, you know, Myron has an awesome story to share. We probably going to be on here in another hour and a half on Thursday, man. So y'all tune in. I appreciate your Goats Only talk, man. It's rough, man. I'll holler at you.